What unimportant hill are you willing to die on? A multi-year argument with my boss over measurement mathematics. He refuses to believe 48.5 feet is 48(6). He argues that it is 48(5). He disagrees that a foot is 12. He openly mocks me to my coworkers and makes comments about me being dumb and having a tough time with math. No one but me corrects him. Everyone else just agrees to his face, then laughs behind his back. Life would be easier if I'd shut up and let him win. At 2 years old, you are no longer allowed to use months to measure your child's age. You can use half and almost approximations, but using months beyond 2 years old is incorrect, and I will make a scene to prove my point. The Summer Olympics should be held at a permanent site in Greece. Use the off years to renovate or alter the grounds as needed. The world can vote and pick a permanent site for the Winter Olympics. Scandinavia seems like a good starting place, perhaps Canada. The only reason they rotate countries is to line the pockets of the IOC members and whatever cronies are able to trick a country into bringing it there. In a building with shared laundry facilities, it is perfectly acceptable to move someone's stuff out of a machine, if all the machines are full. You put their stuff on a clean surface like a folding table, and you've given them a sufficient grace period to come get their stuff. Tossing someone's clothing on the floor or pulling it out before the cycle is finished is still a move, of course. I don't like moving people's stuff, but I'm not gonna wait all day to dry my clothes because you left your stuff sitting in the machine for hours. People who pronounce Reeses to rhyme with pieces versus Reeses rhyming with PSEs rhymes with feces. Please just know, I go off on the longest rant every time. Edit. The name is Reese. Making it plural or possessive makes it Reeses, not Reeses. To top it off, then they change how they pronounce pieces to Pieces. Why? I will never give up this fight. What I want to know is if you pronounce Reese's cups as Reese's cups, or even worse, Reese's keeps, or is this the time when you take the wheel back from Satan and pronounce the name correctly? TL. Drive. Reese's Pieces should be pronounced to rhyme while maintaining the correct pronunciation of pieces. Pronouncing it Reese's Pieces is an abomination for me and the hill I will die on. Thank you for my TED Talk. Your home should look like you live there. Having some clutter shouldn't be seen as a bad thing as long as it's not dirty. Anytime I go to someone's home and it looks like it could be used in a sales catalog, I feel so uncomfortable because I don't feel like I should be touching any surfaces or furniture because I may mess them up. Ask Ketchum's first win in the Pokemon anime was in the Orange Islands arc. Stop treating the Alola arc like it was the first. Nobody talks about Orange Islands, nerd. Well, maybe you need to, pal. Aisha's first win was Orange Islands. You said unimportant, so the hill I'm dying on is the continuity and canon of an anime based on a video game and card game for literal children. Toxins in the cleanse your body of them since are quite literally not real, and anyone who believes in them is actually scientifically illiterate. If you can't name the specific toxin you're cleansing from your body by doing a certain treatment or routine, then you're being taken for a ride, you fucking twat. People who don't like vegetables as adults are inferior, except for those with sensory processing issues, because they can't help that. If you're a grown person who throws a fit at eating carrots, you're pathetic. Reasoning: I worked as a chef. The amount of adults who got hissy about vegetables outweighed the amount of adults who weren't problematic. Data skewed by how kids are raised in this country, but still. Resident Evil 5 was a good game. As long as you had a good co-op partner. I bought it twice and we played it into the ground each time and had a blast on Mercenaries 2. In contrast, Resident Evil 6 is an abomination, and I don't know how we got rid of it, but I imagine it's rotting beside Hitler's ashes. The camera was terrible, Jake was an insult, co-op was appalling. In Ada's campaign the co-op partner couldn't even do basic things like open doors. A lot of RE fans hated RE5 because it was an action game. Some even place RE6 above it, and I don't know how you do that unless you solo. Probably with a lot of alcohol and nostalgia. But out of all the RE games I've played, I had the most fun with 5 and replayed it the most. So that's my hill. Bury me there after I drown in all the horror fanboy tears. Tinfoil will always be superior to saran wrap in every single way, and saran wrap should not exist. I always joke that if I was ever a dictator, I would give the citizens a year to get rid of saran wrap. After that year, instant punishment. No saran wrap. Ever. I say as I clench my teeth and hit my oak desk with both fists. Grocery stores prompting shoppers to purchase food at undiscounted retail price and donate it via food bank boxes at the store is a disgusting, cynical, self-serving ploy. Never, ever purchase new food to donate to a food bank. Food banks want donations of money because they can purchase 3-4x as much food for the same amount that you spend at a typical grocery store. The rest of the money just goes directly into the pockets of the grocery store. You would think that the store would at least have enough shame to offer some sort of matching donation, but I've never seen this. The argument between Fahrenheit and Celsius is dumb. Whatever system you learn first is the one that's going to make the most sense to you. It doesn't matter if F is made after ppl and C is made after water or whatever. However, the Americans lose based on popular vote, so we should all use Celsius. This is my hill. I've built it myself, and by God I will die here. Socks with sandals is not a crime. Hear me out, it's a good balance between light protection from dirt and sunburn, yet much breathable than normal full show wear. Not that visually offensive, unless maybe higher shin level socks. Heel socks is best and not an eyesore. And much easier to take off put on than laced shoes. Anime is a great medium that has some of the best stories ever told in fiction. Anime existed since 1917, and not a lot of people are going back to watch the classics, but instead would watch another mediocre anime that's airing. The most common complaint about these classics is that they look old. These are the people recommending and hyping up the mediocre shows to non-anime fans, because they think it's the pinnacle of the medium, and make anime look bad. Anime has many genres, but a lot of people don't move on from the repetitive action genre. I'm not saying that all modern anime is mediocre, I'm just saying the actually good ones don't show up every season. We should actively shame people who don't respect the line cue. I'm an American, and I'm tired of people pretending like they don't know where the line starts so they don't have to wait and can cut everybody else. I see it happen all the time. It was BS when you were a child, it's BS now. I know I'm a dick for doing it, but I finally broke the other month and called someone out on it and refused to move. I swear an old man almost tried to fight me over it, but the line is the line, and respect other people's time. Your time is not more important, and you are capable of following the simple concept that is waiting your turn. Radio censorship. If you're going to edit a song heavily every other word is bleep, just don't play the song. By the way, everyone with a functional brain knows what WAP is about, why bother censoring it? I judge people that say I could care less to convey the fact that they don't care. Saying I could care less logically implies that you have a level of caring that isn't zero. Further implying that, contrary to your intent, you do indeed care. Saying I couldn't care less implies that it isn't possible for you to care any less. If you're splitting something to distribute to people, between is for two, among is for many. The tween is from twain dashes into two. It's useless, it's petty, and it's the hill I have staked out for my last stand. Stop talking into your phone like you have it on speaker when you don't, and stop talking on speaker in waiting rooms and other public places. We don't need to hear your conversation, and especially not the person on the other side of the conversation. This also applies to game noises. Why do you still need to hear Awesome on Candy Crush? Why are they called ender pearls when an enderman drops it, but when you add blaze rod it's called ender eye? When other mobs drop stuff in Minecraft they are called spider eyes, zombie flesh, ink sacks, leather meat wool. These at least correlate or are labeled to correspond with the mob. So why does the enderman drop an ender pearl, and not an ender eye that you turn into an ender pearl? Use your turn signals. It doesn't cause physical pain, just do it. It's safer for everyone. People who don't are selfish assholes. When getting food out of a sealed bag or container, for the love of all that is holy, push the air out and seal it up securely so it's not stale for the next person. I can't tell you how many smart people I work with who either just take a cookie and walk away leaving the Ziploc bag totally open, or who seal it up all puffy with air inside it. Sealing it is supposed to keep the air out, genius, so press the air out before you seal it. FFS.